So what's wrong with price discrimination? Well, the obvious answer is that what we're doing is that some groups, with low PED, they're paying a higher price, and as a result, what we're seeing is a decrease in consumer surplus. What's happening is that there's a transfer of welfare from consumers to the monopolist or to the firm. So consumers are losing out and the firm is benefiting. Now, maybe we like that. Obviously, if you're the firm, you're very happy, because you got more profit. And in a minute, we'll come to kind of look at ways in which you might justify that. But if you are me, then you're paying a higher price for your cinema ticket, you're kind of going, well, that sucks. And if you take it to its logical extent, if you look at what's called pure price discrimination, or it's sometimes called first-order price discrimination. Imagine that we had a kind of mind-reading machine, essentially when you walk into the shop, the owner knows exactly how much you're willing to pay. Once upon a time, some of you have told some of you before, there was a restaurant on the Cowley Road in Oxford called the High-Low Jamaican Eatery, and basically when you went in there, there's this kind of old Rasta guy smoking a big spliff, and he there was no price list, so there wasn't even a menu as best as I could tell, and he'd just charge you what he thought you could afford, and if that was the case, then if we look at what would happen, there's demand. Well, what we're saying is that this person will be made to pay the price that they're willing to pay. This person will pay the price that they're willing to pay. This person will pay the price that they're willing to pay, and so on. So there will be no consumer surplus. Every consumer pays the price that they're willing to pay. So if the firm decides it's going to sell that number of units, all of that is now the firm's revenue. Because the firm's revenue is that for the first one, that for the second, that for the third, that for the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. So in other words, it's kind of the limit of price discrimination, because what's happening here is that each market segment, each bit of the market, is just one consumer. Everybody pays exactly what they would be willing to pay, and therefore there's no consumer surplus. All of the consumer surplus is transferred to the firm. So that's the limit. If you're trying to show why price discrimination is bad, well, in principle, the limiting case is that the firm takes all of the consumer surplus. Now, in reality, that's not possible, of course. The firm tends to break the market into a number of subgroups. One diagram you'll sometimes see, you don't need to know this diagram for Educast, but one diagram you'll sometimes see is this. We're just going to make a quick assumption, and it's a way of just being slightly more technical if you want to. I'm going to make an assumption of constant marginal cost. Apparently, this is just to make the diagram a bit easier, but we're probably reflecting something along the lines of, say, car manufacturing or something like that. Where, I mean, in reality, each car probably, the next car probably costs, no less than the one before. It's going to knock out a car. It's 10 grand, £10,000. Next one, £10,000, and so on. So we're going to assume that marginal cost looks like this. And as I say, it's just for convenience. So we're assuming there's no diminishing returns eventually. And a second assumption we're going to make is that there are two sub-markets. And within these two sub-markets, there's going to be a low PED market, and there's going to be a high PED market. So an inelastic one, and an elastic one. So what does that look like? Here's the inelastic market. That's me in the cinema market. That's average revenue. And then here's you. That's the elastic market, and again, that's your average revenue in the cinema market. There's money, there's quantity, and so on. So let's suppose the firm wants to maximise profits. Then what we know already that the firm's going to produce where MC equals MR, and what it'll do is it'll do that in each of the two markets. So let's put in a marginal revenue curve in each case. Yeah, so here's MR in the inelastic market, twice as steep. Here is MR in the elastic market, twice as steep. And as I said a minute ago, I'm making an assumption of constant marginal cost. So marginal cost is going to be whatever this is. Let's call it 10 quid. Marginal cost in this market is 10 quid. And marginal cost in this market is 10 quid. So the firm produces where MC, so it's the two-step process. The firm produces where MC equals MR. In this market, Q1, and it charges a price of P1. It's not able to charge a huge price because demand is elastic. In this market, they produce at Q2, again, where MC equals MR. But because demand is inelastic, they're able to charge a much higher price. So whereas that, say, 20 quid, that looks more like about 40 quid. And that's showing you, if you want, it's kind of pretty obvious, to be honest, that price is going to be higher in the inelastic market. But if you wanted something a bit more technical, that's how you would show it. So price discrimination primarily is undesirable because it targets particular groups, makes them pay a higher price, and therefore takes their consumer surplus.